Hello, Tallahassee. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. We've got a whole lot to talk about on tonight's show, but first, looking at our conditions outside of the most beautiful stadium in the world, Doak Campbell Stadium, a little bit cloudy. We had some sun peeking through earlier, making our conditions a little bit on the warmer side, but right now it is only about 81 degrees. Sorry, 78, excuse me. Mostly cloudy, winds from the south at about 13 miles per hour, so just a little bit windy for us tonight. Satellite radar, you can see this southerly flow that I'm talking about, bringing in this wind, these storms coming in right now. This one is a little bit on the stronger side, not severe though, coming in towards the metro. So we're gonna have to watch out for that coming into the end of the workday. Temperatures looking nice and warm for us, 84 in Bainbridge, 78 in the metro, and a little bit cooler towards the Gulf because of this southerly flow. Dew points, however, making it very wet here, 67 in Tallahassee, 71 in Apalachicola. Nice and cool as we go into tomorrow, and warm looking at tomorrow's forecast. We're seeing all this tonight on FSU Weather. Severe weather threat, cooler temperatures returning, and a pleasant weekend ahead on FSU Weather tonight.
Well, good evening, Florida State, and we are in the thick of a lot of nice, hot weather in our area, although there are some signs that this will be changing as we head throughout the next couple days, and we'll cover that in tonight's show. And something associated with what will be bringing our cool down is some severe weather that will be impacting portions of the southeast for the day tomorrow. Even into Thursday, the severe threat will linger for portions of the eastern seaboard. So we'll have all the information on severe weather that you can get right here tonight on FSU Weather. Updates on helping you refresh a little bit on what severe weather warnings and watches mean. And also we'll have that forecast for you for that severe weather threat, especially in places like northern Mississippi into northern Alabama, where we are seeing a moderate risk for severe weather. That is a 4 out of 5 chance of seeing some severe weather for our day tomorrow. There's a chance we can get to a high risk, which has not been issued since 2019 by the Storm Prediction Center. So we're definitely dealing with a significant severe weather threat for portions of the southeast tomorrow. Some of this severe weather may make its way into the Tallahassee area as we head over the next couple days. We'll have a little bit more on that. Not expecting the worst of that to be in our area, but nevertheless, we will be seeing some wet weather return to our forecast after pretty much a very dry past week we've had. And we are going to head over to Hayden at the Wall for a little bit more on what we can see here in our Tallahassee area.
Yeah, thanks, Riley. So speaking of the severe weather, none coming in our region at least till tomorrow night and Thursday morning. But there are some showers to speak about, as indicated by these dark clouds. There are some showers south of Doak Campbell Stadium. So definitely bring an umbrella out. Looks like you might have some showers coming in. But currently it is still dry, mostly cloudy, 78. A moist wind out of the south, 13 miles per hour, really pumping in that moisture, and we're going to feel it. Our almanac today, 82, our low 61, and we're about 8 degrees above the high temperature, or the average, and 14 degrees above the low temperature. So definitely a humid, warm air mass over the area. Nowhere near the 89 in 2016, but outside it's feeling very, very spring-like. And that's why we're dealing with the conditions we are, and possibly some dangerous conditions tomorrow for our southeastern neighbors. But hour by hour, we started off relatively warm in the mid-60s, and we worked our way all the way up to 81. Look at that duration too, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's a long span of 80 degrees, not just 1 or 2 hours peaking. So if you're a fan of the warm weather, definitely go outside, walk the dog. You're going to enjoy it. Maybe even go by the pool. If your apartment complex is a nice pool, you want to check it out, now is the perfect time. 79 Quincy, 78 Tallahassee, 84 in Bainbridge. So extremely warm conditions we're talking about for this time of the year, and a little bit cooler with a sea breeze along the coast for that southerly flow. Dew points, very, very muggy. 67 Tallahassee, 71 Apalachicola. This is the air that just makes you pucker. It's so humid. You just keep sweating and you can't get it off of you. So definitely keep that in mind if you're out exercising. 69 over in Perry. And for our wind speeds, why are we so humid? Because we have a 14 mile per hour wind coming off the Gulf and Apalachicola, 14. Tallahassee experiencing 13. So we're just in a soupy atmosphere. And with a with this amount of moisture, humidity, and temperatures, we do have some showers that came over Port St. Joe that are just west of Carabel and approaching southern Leon County, as well as a shower looks like it's going to be approaching Bainbridge. So do keep umbrella. There will be some scattered showers that come about. Upper level water vapor. There's some moisture coming in ahead of a next system. So we're seeing some humid flow. But for South Florida, we're definitely getting dominated by a high pressure seen by this clockwise flow. So North Florida, much different than South Florida. Our futurecast, there's some showers ending. And tomorrow actually looks like there's going to be ample sunshine by Wednesday, 6 p.m. A lot of sunshine and warm conditions dominating the severe weather will probably hold off till Thursday morning. So tonight, expect mild conditions again, temperatures in the mid-60s with all that cloud cover. And tomorrow, mostly warm conditions with some scattered showers that cannot be ruled out. Temperatures mostly in the low 80s and mid-70s near the coast. And tonight, 63, some thunderstorms ending by this evening, becoming mostly cloudy, maybe some fog. Tomorrow, 79, cloudy, west-southwest wind. So definitely a beautiful day to go out on campus before the storm comes in. And then this week ahead, definitely some thunderstorms coming in Thursday, maybe some severe, and then cooling off with temperatures in the 60s. Now we're going to hand it over to Robert.
Right, thank you, Hayden. Of course, we have the storm before the calm here, really. We're looking at showers and thunderstorms across the region coming into tomorrow. Right now, of course, it is a little bit on the calmer side here. Gainesville, Florida, we are seeing some of these showers and thunderstorms sort of create this southerly flow, give us some thunderstorms in Atlanta and Blacksburg, Virginia. But right now, of course, we are looking at a situation that could be developing over the southeast. Current temperatures nice and warm for us, though. 78 in Tallahassee, 67 in Montgomery, 49 in Atlanta. You can really see where this shower activity has come into in the central part of the southeast. 81 in New Orleans, and a little bit warmer towards the rest of Florida. Dew points are really the story of the day right now. Up to 70 in New Orleans, 67 in Tallahassee. In fact, most of the northern area of this area, North Florida, the central Gulf Coast, is actually even wetter than Miami for once. That's a little bit of a surprise for us here with these really wet dew points. Winds showing, as Hayden was saying, this southerly flow here, looking at 14 miles per hour in New Orleans, 13 here in Tallahassee. So really seeing all this wind come up and give us this moisture and this sort of a little bit of cooler air with these sea breezes that come into the region. Satellite and radar again showing this moisture sort of coming into the central area along your I-20-ish corridor here from Atlanta all the way to Birmingham into Jackson. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of showers and thunderstorms tonight. That's because of this upper level water vapor, excuse me. You can see all these sort of areas. This blue here is where we have the most moisture here. And that is, of course, coming in from this Gulf moisture, sort of feeding like a fire hose of moisture coming into the area of the southeast right now. And that's what we're going to need to be watching for tomorrow, because this moisture could create an unstable atmosphere for us that will give us some severe storms. Tonight's forecast setup going into tomorrow. That is what basically tonight's show is going to be covering and telling you. If you have any family and friends, Jackson, Montgomery.
It's really great to inform people of the situation, because that's what we do. That's what us meteorologists like to do. We like to help people in these situations. But nationally, we can see quite the dynamic setup going on. There's a stark area of cooler temperatures out in the west in 46, Albuquerque, 33, Denver. They just had that huge snowstorm. And you look out in the plains in Dallas and San Antonio, we're in the upper 70s, maybe even low 80s. So you have this huge system, the contrast of temperature moving across, really sparking some interesting weather. But if you're watching us in the Northeast, nothing but some cool temperatures, 35 Boston. So definitely two seasons are clearly being seen here. So dew points kind of reflect that similar nature. We have warmer temperatures in the southeast with dew points 70 New Orleans, 67 Tallahassee, San Antonio 67. They actually have some severe weather possible over Texas today. Overnight, not as high as a risk. And then further north, we have dew points in the 30s and 20s where winter is still dominating. So we have a clash of air masses and dew points going on. And our surface analysis map is telling us just that. We're still getting some snowfall over Denver, actually, in those Rocky Mountains. So keep that in mind if you're a ski enthusiast. And this upper level low and this low pressure at the surface as well are going to continue to track over to the southeast into this humid air mass. And we're really going to start seeing some things bubble up. And then meanwhile, cool air, some snow looks to be dominating the northeast. But Florida right now being dominated by high pressure and keeping warm. So definitely a lot to keep track of. Our upper level water vapor gives us the key features we want to see, the upper level low, progressing through New Mexico into western Texas, eventually the southeast with a main trough being our defining feature, and some cooler temperatures up in Billings, as well as the northeast with a northerly flow you can see streaming across here. So definitely some active weather and different temperatures being seen across the region. For our drought monitor, thank gosh we had a lot of snow and some rain because we were definitely in a drought. Not so much in the east, but in the west we had so much neat precipitation that we got, and that's what we saw. So for future radar, really want to see we have a moderate risk today. Sorry, an enhanced risk today over Kansas, and that's what we're going to see bubble up. And then tomorrow, we're going to have some isolated severe storms popping up and a squall line, of course, here. That is the main features we're looking at. So definitely watching in the plains and then watching in the southeast tomorrow. Tonight's forecast, we can see this bulge of warm temperatures popping up, indicated by temperatures in the 70s and upper 60s, with some cool air dominating towards Boston, towards Minneapolis. So definitely cold air in the north, warm and humid air in the south. Tomorrow's high forecast, very much the same thing. You can see the sharp contrast in temperatures, 81 in San Antonio versus 49 in Kansas City. That's a cold front we are seeing, and as well the northeast seeing cooler temperatures, whereas the southeast is seeing temperatures in the 70s and 80s, even Miami peaking at a warm 83 degrees. So that's conditions we can expect to see. So definitely quite a clash of air mass we're seeing. Now we're going to hand it over to Riley.
Yeah, Hayden, well, looking at that forecast, do you know when the first day of spring is, Hayden?
March 21st?
March 20th this year, and that is this upcoming Saturday. So we are in our last week here of winter, and with how muggy it's felt today, how warm the temperatures have been lately, we're starting to feel a little bit more like spring. Currently seeing quite a bit of cloud cover over Doak Campbell Stadium this evening. We have a little bit more daylight now, so we'll be staying pretty light out throughout the show. Temperatures starting to go back down into the 70s. We did hit into the low 80s earlier today. We do have some scattered storms in the area right now. We'll see that in our radar, but first looking at how this day went, we started cooler in the mid 60s. That is still a fairly mild waking up temperature before we got back up into the 80s by afternoon, now starting to head back down into the upper 70s. And across the region, we are talking about the upper 70s for most of the Florida Peninsula here, even still holding on to 84 degrees there in Bainbridge, down farther towards the coast in the low 70s, as are the dew points. So Apalachicola feeling very muggy out there. Another place that's been feeling muggy this afternoon is Tallahassee. Me just walking outside, it feels like a warm summer thunderstorm kind of day out in New Jersey. Might even be getting in on some storms later for a little sneak peek on that. And our winds also coming from the south, pretty strong at times. Wind gusts reported there at Quincy, 18 miles per hour today, 15 there in Thomasville. So it might get a little breezy if you are outside, so do be prepared for that. And speaking of those scattered storms, we do have a cell that is moving its way onshore onto the Florida Panhandle here. If it does hold together, it may get to our area here in Tallahassee, so do be prepared if we do see some showers from this one later on this evening. And over the next 24 hours, we'll see that cloud cover persist into the day tomorrow. Not seeing much right now for a day tomorrow in terms of any rain, although that is on the way. We will be getting to that a little bit. Do have a chance, a 50% chance there at some storms this evening, potentially what we are seeing on our radar right now. For a day tomorrow, we will see quite a bit of cloud cover in our regions, flirting with the 80s there. And for our week ahead, there we go on Thursday. That is when we will be seeing that chance at some storms, a 90% chance of rain there. And notice how our temperatures cool off, Robert, for our weekend. Only seeing highs in the 60s before warming up again for early next week.
Right, of course. We're looking at this 7-day here. We can see, again, Thursday is going to be our main severe weather event here, particularly here in Tallahassee. We're seeing a chance of potentially maybe seeing an enhanced or a slight or enhanced risk for us here, which I will talk about what that means in just a second here. But again, seeing this nice 7-day here after this severe weather makes its way through, seeing 60s and 40s for our highs and lows, nice cloud cover, maybe another shot at showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. But you've been hearing us throw around these terms here like high risk, moderate risk, enhanced risk. What does this all mean? Well, right here, this is what we like to call an SPC, or Storm Prediction Center outlook. The Storm Prediction Center is an office of NOAA affiliated with the National Weather Service that issues outlooks as to where they think severe weather is most likely to happen. So this outlook contains basically a lot of useful information. And what you can see here is a nice color gradient here. The darker the color means where it's more likely to see severe weather. But it's not just that. It also tells us a few more interesting things here. This is, for example, the tornado probability for an event in the south, the Dixie Alley event, which I'll explain what that means in just a second. You can see right here where you have these darker colors. Again, this is where tornadoes are probably most likely favored. And this hatched right here, these sort of lines, this means where it's particularly favored, what we like to call a SIG event or significant. So this is what we call a SIGTOR, and this is a particularly potent event. We don't see those too often, but we are going to see one potentially tomorrow. That's what we're looking at right now. Tomorrow for our risk, we have a moderate, a 4 on the category list. And you can see here it goes all the way from no severe thunderstorms expected with your general all the way to widespread. This is a historic outbreak number 5. You don't see this one too often, but I will mention, because the SPC mentioned it in their outlook, that we are potentially looking at a high risk tomorrow. They said if the model trends continue, we could be looking at a high risk issuance at around 1 a.m. this morning. We'll need to be looking at that and seeing what happens tomorrow. Again, of course, models could not exactly come out, but we want to make sure everyone's prepared. So that's why we're warning you guys. We are at a 4 right now, so that means no matter what, we are looking at a major, widespread, severe event tomorrow. Could be seeing major long-track tornadoes in the area around Jackson all the way to Birmingham. So this is a major event. You will need to warn anyone in the southeast. They are all at risk. We might not see, not everyone will see a storm, but those that do see a storm could see a very potent storm. So you're going to make sure you are warning your friends and family. Another terms that are important for tomorrow, watch and warning. Watch, what does that necessarily mean? It doesn't mean that we're seeing conditions right now, but it means that the SPC is seeing conditions that are very favorable for storm development. So if a tornado watch is issued in your area, it means that they think that tornadoes are likely possible within the next few hours or so. Warning means immediately, take action now. If you have a tornado warning issued, you must take to your safe cover now because a tornado is imminent and happening or radar indicated. So of course, this is a very important information. And another important thing is watching your area of interest. This is where we're looking for potential severe weather happening, and tomorrow it will be in the central southeast. So now I'm going to hand things off to Riley for some more look at our weather.
Yeah, well, that is definitely a very big weather event happening tomorrow. And somewhere we will not be seeing a very big weather event is the Sunshine State, because we will be staying fairly sunny as we are today and as we are right now. Temperatures across the region in the 80s, 83 degrees in Jacksonville. That's where our warmest spot in the state is right now. Not seeing any rain icons show up on the picture here. And the reason why is because our dew point temperatures are just about 15 to 20 degrees cooler than our actual temperatures. So we are definitely seeing maybe a moist atmosphere today, but we aren't seeing it moist enough to start making some very wet weather, if you will. And in our upper level water vapor, we see that more moist weather is moving into portions of the northern parts of the state, but a high pressure currently over the Gulf of Mexico, really keeping things dry for the Florida Peninsula. But notice those high cloud tops there in portions of southern Alabama and Georgia, and that cloud cover as well. Up there, our friends just to the north of us here in the Tallahassee area, getting in on some rain for the day today. That is where we're expecting the severe weather threat to pop up for the day tomorrow, but staying very dry and very sunny over portions of the Florida Peninsula today. And if we look a little closer at northern portions of the state, we do see some rain showers moving from pretty much towards the northeast, towards Tallahassee from areas like Apalachicola. Farther north again, that's where the bulk of that rain is. Staying dry in central portions of the state and southern portions of the state. Pretty much we are at the same story there. Now, looking at our forecast city by city, Miami going to be in the mid 80s throughout the rest of the week. Our rain chances don't really return to our forecast until Friday. And Tampa, no rain chances at all. We are expecting temperatures to stay in the low 80s before we have a cold front start to make way for some cooler low 70 temperatures this upcoming Friday. Orlando, very hot for the day tomorrow and on Thursday. 90 degrees is your high expected for both days before we cool off to 77 for your Friday. Conditions are staying dry though. Jacksonville might get some rain chances for our day on Thursday. but temperatures will be in the 80s before they get to the upper 60s for your day on Friday. In Pensacola, we are talking about our rain chances tomorrow before we cool down and dry out for the latter part of your week. Into tonight, we are expecting temperatures to be in the 60s across much of the state, 70s as we head farther south. And for the day tomorrow, lots of 80s and 90s on the board there, Hayden. So, Hayden, you have a look at what we're all keeping our eyes on for the day tomorrow, which is the severe weather threat.
Yes, definitely having some severe weather potential. We'll keep an eye on it. Looks like we have a moderate risk. Yeah, so definitely something for sure to see what we're going to be dealing with. And the SPC right now we have, like I said, 4 out of 5 risk for Alabama, so we could expect some tornadoes to pop up in the definitely a high possibility. And we have some heavy rainfall potential too. Sorry about that, folks. Some technical difficulties. We have a flash flood watch in green. We have a flash flood warning in red. So it looks like anywhere south from Jackson to Montgomery. Definitely keep an eye out for some heavy rain potential. And you can see those thunderstorms are lining up just where you expect to see on the radar, all along that red and green flash flood warning and watches. So definitely south of Montgomery, it's gonna be a soggy ride to say the least. And taking a gander out in the southeast as well, we have some light showers north of Atlanta, nothing severe. And to keep an eye out for river flooding and heavy and flood watches, we have more rain coming in. So for our big story, we have an enhanced severe weather risk over northern Oklahoma into south central Kansas, south of Wichita. So definitely expect some severe weather. Hail and strong winds are the primary threat for tonight, associated with that cold front and dry line. And we're going to shift over to the southeast as we get into more humid air mass, and tornadoes will start to become more of a potential. Not saying you're going to get one, but there is a risk for sure in our forecast. At 6 a.m., we're starting to see some heavy rain over Texas and northern Alabama and Mississippi. The SVC look tomorrow, right now a moderate risk, 4 out of 5 chance, 80% chance of seeing some severe weather. That includes gusty winds, large hail, maybe some strong tornadoes. Definitely going to keep an eye out. And then Thursday, not to be remiss, we had that so we have an enhanced risk moving over into the Carolinas, and Tallahassee, our area is in a slight risk. So definitely nothing to sneeze at, with some potential for some strong storms, gusty winds, and some hail. And now we're going to bring it over to the wall, and we're going to see what they have to say about that forecast.
Right. Thank you, Hayden. Of course, we are looking at this outlook here for tomorrow. That is the major story here. Seeing this enhanced risk here as we go into the southeast, the Carolinas, maybe even making its way into central and southern Georgia. That's where we're looking at Tallahassee. Also, maybe slight. We're going to need to watch our storms. Sorry, excuse me. I mean Thursday. But again, tomorrow we are looking at southeast for a major severe weather threat. But right now, locally, looking at Doak Campbell Stadium, it is 6:25 p.m. Again, the most beautiful stadium in the world here. Can't do anything wrong with it, but these nice clouds accenting it here. Cooling down our temperatures a little bit than it was earlier. It was in the 80s. Now it's made its way to the upper 70s. Scattered clouds coming into the region here. Wind coming from the south at about 13 miles per hour. Again, this southerly flow giving us a little bit of a dewier night here. A little bit on the maybe cooler here too, with this sea breeze coming into the region. But right now, again, we're a little bit above average here, coming in almost 10 degrees above average, 8 actually, for our high here. Also a little bit above average on our low here too, 61 above 47. But again, not really near that record low, but we are fairly near that record high, only about 7 degrees off. So that if you're thinking it's warm today, that's exactly why. Seeing 80s up towards Georgia, actually 82 still in Bainbridge. But again, this sort of southerly flow has really made our temperatures a little bit cooler here, cooled down as we get into the evening hours here. But it is still very muggy because of this southern flow here. Coming into Apalachicola, where it's very humid, still kind of humid here for most of us here, Tallahassee, Monticello, St. Mark's. As we get into Georgia, maybe just a little bit drier, but again, it is spring here. You're going to have that southerly flow giving us these higher dews. Coming from Texas, I don't like it, but I know Riley does. Seeing the satellite and radar here, seeing the showers, seacoast showers coming into the region on Port St. Joe, seeing this sort of right here, showers and thunderstorms coming towards Carabel, towards Tallahassee. We could see a possible chance of maybe a little bit of a stronger storm as it makes its way here if it holds up. But again, maybe watching a 30 minutes on this storm here. It could, of course, just wash out before it gets here, but it could make our evening just a little bit on the wetter side. Next 24 hours, our main feature in the morning here, this sort of cloud cover making its way through, but as it starts to break up, that's the major story. We see the sun coming in, making that convective available potential energy, this sort of juice for the storms available, and that could make us have a chance for severe weather. 75 mostly cloudy on the beach tomorrow, so if you want to get away from those severe storms and go down to the beach, go there. Tonight, 63, 50% on thunderstorms, and we are looking at a potential for maybe a few stronger storms as we get into the night tonight. Tomorrow, 79 and cloudy, and we are looking at a fairly nice day tomorrow here. We aren't seeing much in the way of severe weather, and our day part is mostly and partly cloudy for our 70s, and we are looking at a fairly nice day for us today, aren't we, Riley?
Yeah, well, if we look at that week ahead, that is some very nice, interesting weather before we get the storms to move into our area on Thursday. But after, having all the nice weather we have had, you can't really complain with this forecast. Only really have one day of washout, which is expected to be our Thursday, the recovery day from St. Patrick's Day, so we can take it. And then as we head into the weekend, unfortunately, if you want to head to the beach, it's not going to be the time. It'll be a little too chilly for that. Might be dry, but 60s, you might want to layer up rather than go to the beach and get that tan. But early next week, we will be seeing those 70s return to our forecast. So if you're like me and you like this springtime Florida weather, we will be seeing that warmer weather return to our forecast, which is great news there. And we also do want to make sure that everybody is staying weather aware out there in portions of the southeast, especially northern portions of Mississippi and Alabama for the day tomorrow. And follow us on Twitter for the latest on breaking weather information as we head throughout the rest of the week. And on Facebook, we are also FSU Weather. So with that, we are going to say thank you so much for joining us here this evening, and stay safe out there again if you are in the line of this severe weather that is moving into our region, because we will be seeing quite a significant threat from what we have been seeing lately in terms of severe weather. We're starting to get into the thick of severe weather season, which does peak in May. So we will see you tomorrow night here on FSU Weather for some severe weather coverage at 6 p.m. Thanks for joining me.